So there's this Instagram account called deeplove.quote. And you see, what's the difference between a relationship and a partnership? And so we'll go through. She goes like, not she or he, whatever the account. Okay, so relationship is where respect is not consistent because one or both partners may even feel unheard or dismissed. There's walking on eggshells, avoiding topics to keep the peace. While a partnership, respect is mutual, lived out daily. Both people feel emotionally safe enough to speak their truth without fear. In relationships, you can have big blowouts, cold distance, issues get buried or resurface repeatedly because no one feels safe enough to be honest. In a partnership, difficult conversations happen calmly, respectfully, or with a focus and understanding, not about winning. The focus is on understanding, not on winning. In a relationship, needs go unmet because communication feels risky or exhausting. Silence and defensiveness replaces real dialogue. In a partnership, both partners actively anticipate and check in on each other's needs. They can talk about hard things without it turning into blame. In a relationship, physical closeness may exist, but emotional intimacy feels limited. Affection can become transactional or used as leverage, but in a partnership, intimacy is rooted in trust, vulnerability, because both partners prioritize connection, comfort, and shared pleasure in every sense. Relationship mistakes are blamed, not learned from, and growth feels one-sided or stagnant. In a partnership, each partner owns their actions and commits to personal relational growth. Accountability strengthens the bond. In relationship, one partner often carries the emotional weight of soothing, planning, apologizing, while the other withdraws. In a partnership, emotional, mental, physical, and any other kind of effort is shared. Both partners take responsibility for their part and show up equally. In a relationship, the connection could feel like autopilot, staying out of comfort, fear, or habit. By the way, all this she's saying it is. I would like to say it could be. Could be. She's like, how do you upgrade your relationship to a partnership? So in a partnership, love is an act. So we'll do that one again. In relationship, the connection could feel like autopilot, staying only out of comfort, fear, or habit. But in a partnership, love is an active, conscious choice. Both people keep choosing each other through effort, empathy, and communication. In relationship, there's an uneven power balance, sometimes a parent or child dynamic where one leads and the other follows. In a partnership, equality is the foundation. Decisions, emotions, and responsibilities are shared. And just as a summary, a relationship seems to happen by chance, while a partnership is built with intention, communication, and emotional maturity. I wanted to workshop this, so I decided to write like a note. So I wrote like a letter, like I and I. Like I was thinking of the partnership of I and I. So you're right. I keep testing you. Kept, past tense. I would like to practice being loved by you. Men equals nothing. Men need women or the other to experience mattering, but the good ones create energy and share it. Choosing love, choosing truth, choosing life, saving the one or the ones who sold the soul. There's a version of me I pushed far down, the one that needed to learn skills. I was a diamond covered by rock. All the chipping away reveals my strength and beauty and worth and value. I took the knife out my own heart and I saw my eyes are so close together, like it looks intense, like the animals that are predators, not prey, which might give me increased abilities of focus and analysis. Social support and applying learned skills works better than medicine alone. I can't trust my energy, intuition, my inner voices, my insightful connections, my mind. I can trust my energy, intuition, my inner voices, my insightful connections, my mind. Everything can be explained as light and vessel. I'm ready to be loved, to learn what it's like to be loved, to be taught what it is to be loved. Desire and fear, focusing on impact. Desire and fear of causing impact, being known, being free, being myself. My parents want to walk me down the aisle at my wedding. They would. I won't go alone. Loud regret in the form of shame for being flawed, letting others hurt me because I felt like I didn't deserve love. I used force. I dominated and manipulated and provoked and violated and perverted, twisted, and intimidated. I think the second manipulated meant to be coerced. So then I looked on Instagram and I saw I saw an account. I saw something and it was written by Afsa Rosette on Instagram where she says, maturing is realizing a relationship's not just about giving the love that's comfortable for you. It's about learning how to give the love in the way that actually lands for the other person. The person who's right for you will also be the one who exposes you where you're still wrong within yourself, and they'll touch the places you run instead of repair, and bring out the moments where you choose harshness over empathy, and they'll make visible the parts of you that want love but don't know how to sustain it. Being in a relationship means, and here we're not talking about partnership versus relationship. She was just, the other account was trying to be like, what's the difference between a committed partnership and not? Okay, let's continue here. Being in a relationship or a partnership means giving your partner space to be human, imperfect, flawed, disappointing, which sounds cute till you're faced with the version of a partner that's messy, reactive, or needy. That's when you realize how impatient you actually are with imperfection. How much you only like vulnerability when it flatters you, not when it inconveniences you. Love doesn't just reveal the other, it reveals you. It's easy to believe you're ready for love when you're single, in control of your space and your triggers. Healing in solitude feels neat. Self-awareness feels easy when it isn't being tested. But in relationship, your partner becomes a mirror that refuses to flatter you. Suddenly, the places you swore you healed are screaming in pain, are screaming again. Being in a relationship will challenge you to do things that your ego resists, to communicate when silence feels safer, to stay when leaving would be easier, to soften when your pride wants to harden. You'll have to decide whether your need to be right matters more than your need to stay connected. Sometimes you'll fail, sometimes you'll lash out, sometimes you'll shut down, sometimes you'll forget that the other person in front of you is not your enemy. And in those moments, you'll face a choice to drown in shame or to project blame. But maturity is neither. Maturity is the courage to say, I got it wrong. Let's repair it instead of repeat the cycle. The shift happens when you stop treating relationships as a place to feel good and start seeing them as a place to become good. To feel good the shift happens when you stop treating relationships as a place to feel good and start seeing them as a place to become good. To grow, to stretch, to practice, the point is not harmony at all costs. The point is learning how to fight fear, repair well, and come back softer instead of harder. So to workshop that, I went to a 12-step meeting, and they have them on everything that you feel you might need to recover from. So for example, I'm considering the relationships I've been in terms of love and my ideas about sex and like just the fantasies, like going off of my imagination. It could be like an addiction or an avoidance. So I was thinking about how, like, thinking of my father, like the relationships, like what that talked about was kind of how, like, to become the person that you didn't want to be, like in the relationship, it brings out that part of you that you thought you healed from. So I was thinking of my father, like, do I become my father? Or do I date my father? Like, do I have to be my mother? And also like this idea I mentioned earlier about coercion and manipulation. So like force, convincing to get what I want, in a catharsis and confusion, even delusional expectations, which are very self-defeating, of, superhuman, imperfect, flawless man, versus that connection that I just read, and learning to be loved by a human and not knowing if these delusional expectations were like inherited. And this conscious relating where both sides can feel something better is out there, or that they're disappointed, like the same way that I could feel like, wait, maybe I'm missing out, maybe there's something better. The other person might be feeling like that. Like, how does that feel to be on this end? Like, shouldn't I want to treat the person the way that I would want to feel. I don't want to feel that the person's looking at me and like wishing they had someone else. So I don't want the other person that's on the other side of me, that my other person, to feel that I'm thinking there's someone better. So I was thinking, 4 things. 1, presence helps me age with grace and self-acceptance when I make space to reflect, because I could see the projections and myself and my part and my real intentions. And this could be like self-development for my goals. And the second thing is when I am less neglected and less needy and like less desperate, it's because of self-care, where I raise the standard for myself. Of my consciousness, my awareness, my ability to actually hold space for someone in front of me. And then less escapism and avoidance, where it's like grief that I've had, or like really feel the pain of the family, of the romance that has failed in the past. And then learning and open-mindedness, which is that it's not always A and B. Sometimes it's C. And this is to invest in a relationship as my branches instead of the roots, which would mean grounding in a person. So the relationship, I invest with my branches versus putting my roots into the relationship. If I put my branches in, then I'll be able to keep some version of myself like safe and healthy. And I guess we'll stop here. And I wish everybody a really happy, healthy week with all the benefits of our teshuvah, our return to love and light, and wishing everybody health and fitness and comfort in the body, pleasure, connection, and faith and trust and hope and peace and goodness and more than enough and abundance and fun, divine masculine, feminine, and happiness and care, community, friendship, family, Happy Hanukkah. Tomorrow night is Hanukkah, and this video is for Friday, but I did one with the Friday blessings. This is like the Friday video, but after Shabbos, because Shabbos is now like 4 o'clock and it ends like 5 something, or whenever you take it, whenever you end it. And I just wish everybody a great week, a bright week with miraculous, good, fun times, and may we be victorious, and may none of the people who wish us harm be successful. May we be immune and protected, and anyone who suffers like me sometimes from overly sensitive hearing, like I've had in the past, or I've had in the past also sometimes separation anxiety, may we be totally healed and protected from any sort of ailment or dis-ease. And all pain and loneliness should disappear from our hearts, our minds, our bodies. All the best. Bye. And also, soon upcoming is the new month, so wishing everybody a good week, good month, happy holidays.